Aditha, welcome to the Live the Width of Your Life podcast. I'm so excited to see you today.
Thank you. Likewise. I was just thinking it's Friday, and I'm so happy that we made this time and space just for us to talk because we're both so busy. So it feels like a luxury to be here.
It is so nice. And I love when I get a chance to talk to my friends on this podcast and to share their gifts and their magic with my audience and my community. You and I met, I think it was just earlier this year. Is that when Dean introduced us? Yeah.
Yes.
So I love when I think back to people that I have these relationships with and I go, how did we actually even connect? So we were connected by a mutual friend, someone I used to work with, who introduced us. You are in Croatia. I'm here in the States. And he said, I think you two are just going to hit it off. And from the first time I met you, I was so excited and I just felt like a genuine connection.
The feeling is mutual, really. And it's so funny because I was talking to Dean as we are talking. I didn't know you then. I didn't know even who you are. And he just goes in the middle of the conversation, you need to meet Aneta. Who's Aneta? And that's literally how it started. You remind me so much of her. And I have his words in my mind, and I think about them often because he's right. We have so much in common.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I want to get into your background too, but you and I, we are definitely connected. We're both from the former Yugoslavia. You live in Croatia and I live in the States now. We both, I think, are so focused on helping clients and helping people to live their genuine, authentic lives. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about why you went into psychotherapy and some of the things that you're noticing with your clients?
Hmm. Why did I go into psychotherapy? Such a big, broad question. Where do I start? But to give you an overall kind of general answer, I think that it's really a passion. I've loved people ever since I was a child. I think I've always been very intuitive. And this is something my parents have told me that you picked up on things. You were just very in touch as a child. And I pointed things out. I've always been very curious. So I think with the war that started in Bosnia, in the 90s. I think that made me even more curious, like, why do people behave like that? And so, with my background, also having lived in Bosnia for 8 years and then moving to Sweden as the war started, I think that also triggered me to want to explore human behavior, wanting to understand. And I think also really wanting to do good. I think I saw myself as a young child wanting to explore. And then I carried from there, I went on to, I didn't think I was going to become a psychotherapist. I think I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to understand. And as
Mhm.
I was studying psychology and I did my bachelor's on that path, I realized, you know what? It's actually the conversations that I enjoy. It's the connection with people. And so from there onwards, I realized I think I want to become a clinician. Like I really want to sit with people, look at people, see, hear, understand. And so I started to study psychotherapy. To be completely honest with you, I think it really has to do also with where I came from, my own background, my need to understand, my need to touch and connect, to touch people, also to connect with people. I would say probably that's how it started.
That must have been completely devastating and so challenging for you and your family to have to leave your home and to move to another place. Yeah, war is just so challenging and so difficult, and it shapes so much of who we are. How long did you guys stay in Sweden?
We moved to Sweden as a family. I have a sister and together with my parents, and I was 8 years old when we moved to Sweden. So I was very young, transitioning on to a completely new country, to a language I didn't understand, not knowing whether we would stay or not. So all of that uncertainty. So from there and then learning to adapt to the culture, to the language, I realized that when I started studying, I actually used a lot of that introspective work. Today, I can really understand my clients with the changes they make, whatever they may be going through. I can see how helpful it is today in my work with clients.
Wow, very young. And then you chose as an adult to now move to Croatia. Tell me more about that decision.
I think I need to give you a little background before you asked me about how I became interested in psychotherapy. We touched a little bit on my history as well. I think my way of also surviving that environment, the changes, I found my coping strategy in also playing basketball, sports. So At a very young age, I started to play basketball and I became very good at it. And so I think it was really my outlet, my way of belonging to the team, to the environment. So on that path, I played for the Swedish national team. And then I started to play professionally. And so I actually moved to the States and played college basketball and started studying psychology. And from there back to Europe. My path has been very much about continuing to explore, continue to grow. The sports, I think, really helped. And the moves to other countries made me really curious about wanting to understand people, learn more. So when you ask me about Croatia, I feel okay, I have to take you a few steps back to know that I think I was searching for
Mhm.
myself ever since coming to Sweden. I think I've always felt like I was missing that part that they took away from me. And coming to Sweden, I found the safety, stability, the sports, but then I kept moving to other countries and playing and studying. And I could always feel like, oh, I took a little bit, I integrated with that part, and I took a little bit of that part.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, this is becoming me. I can see who I am today. I was becoming myself, literally, on that
Mhm.
path. And when I moved back to Sweden, shortly after I met my boyfriend, who is my husband today, and we had kids. Now we have two kids. And I think I still have that feeling that something is missing. I think really it's my inner child, though. You know, that life coming full circle? I kind of always felt like I want to connect with my roots. I feel a strong need to connect with my roots, to
Mhm.
truly return. Because I could look back on my life and I think I've been making these moves, wanting to both find myself. Who am I? What do I need? But also to integrate all parts of me. My husband is also from Dalmatia, Croatia. So we were talking about this. He's like, oh, I feel the same. I also have this. Oh, you
Mm.
have it too. And we just started to really talk about it. Yeah, and we made this wild move back after 10 years of living together and raising kids in Sweden. The whole deal, buying a house, having security. We risked it all.
Wow. That's so interesting. I didn't know that you lived in the States as well. And for people who don't experience what you experience, which is leaving, not because you wanted to, but because you had to, finding home somewhere else, trying to still maintain culture, language, history, and all of that in a foreign place. Can you just explain maybe what that longing feels like? Because you're at this point raised in Sweden, you lived there for a long
Mhm.
time, but yet there's still this longing for something else.
Yeah. How do you explain that? It's a subtle feeling that's there all along. And you
Mhm.
carry on with your life. You do things. You're in the doing mode. You're either studying, working, but you have this inner feeling. I can speak for myself. I could feel it in the stillness and the silence when you slow down and you feel a yearning for something. And I couldn't quite define what that was. What is that? What do I miss? And I remember my therapist once asking me when I started studying, what do you miss? And I remember saying, I miss my childhood.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that came out. And I didn't even think it just,
Mhm.
and now when you're asking me this, I think what I missed, what was taken away from me,
Yeah.
it was taken away. I felt robbed of something I didn't get to follow through.
Yeah. Innocence
So
was lost at a
yeah.
young age.
Yes. So it wasn't by choice, right? It was necessity. And I think it's the same thing for my parents. And I can speak, I've had many conversations with my parents about this. And as a young child, watching your parents go through this trauma, fleeing from a war, you pick up on things. And that's also how my intuition grew strong, that I could feel them yearning, but not daring because we were young. They had to keep us safe. They had to make sure we were safe. There's a war going on.
Yeah.
And I absorbed that like a sponge. Like, oh, I wish I could do that for them. I think that even grew stronger through them. So in a way, I think it's a collective. It's also within the family, but it was also within me. Yeah.
Yeah. Your husband, did he also live in Sweden because of the war? Did he also have to leave Croatia?
No, I would say he left Croatia because of the consequences of the war. I think, as we know, after post-war times are rarely easy. And
Yeah.
so he wanted to make a better future for himself. And so he decided to come to Sweden to work and just create a better future for
Yeah.
himself. So he was actually living in Sweden for 15 years, even prior to meeting me.
Wow. Were you drawn to him because of your Balkan backgrounds?
Oh, what an interesting question. I haven't thought about that. To be honest with you, I think initially I was not drawn to him because of the Balkan. Actually, I felt a resistance because of
Mm.
everything I had been through with the war. And I could cognitively think that it's safer for me to choose someone who doesn't have that kind of complicated background. And because there are also a lot of fear factors and things that come with war. But after, once we got to know each other, I could feel we had a lot in common. We could relate to one another. We had a lot of things we shared. I learned a lot from him, from his history. Yeah, so I think that definitely brought us closer.
Yeah. What did your family say when you said, "We're gonna go back"? We're You left, you brought us to safety, you built this life, you sacrificed so much to bring us to Sweden, but I have this desire to move to Croatia.
They didn't believe it at first. We had bought this lovely house where we said we're going to live for 15 years, where our kids are going to grow up. No way. I don't think they believed it in the beginning. Also, have in mind that my parents, I mean, Croatia is the eighth country that I moved to. So they're used to me playing basketball so professionally, me doing my master's and studying and being all over. So they finally thought, finally, she's back in Sweden. And I had been back for, yeah, 10 years. So they're like,
Mm,
okay, that's it. So I think it was a shock. Honestly, I think it was a shock for them initially, but then after a while, it's interesting. I could see them getting excited, almost like I was doing what they had wanted to do.
yeah. Had they come to visit?
Oh,
I imagine,
yes.
of course.
I can't get
What
rid
was
of them. I'm joking.
Of course, with the grandchildren, you're the secondary reason they're there. It's the kids, I'm sure, but what was it like for them to come back? And I guess you guys were from Bosnia. Have they gone back to Bosnia since they moved
Oh,
away?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They've been back plenty. The first time we traveled back was in 1998,
Okay.
once it was safe. So since then,
Yeah.
we've been back. They also have an apartment in Serbia, my parents. And so they go there and they stay. Now that they've retired, they spend a lot of time in the Balkans. It's a difficult one. And maybe I speak for a lot of people now when I say this, when I hope a lot of people can relate. I've heard a lot of clients say this when you left your country, you had to flee a war and start over somewhere else. You change your identity, you become someone else. In a way, it is still home, but it's not home, and not the home that you knew. So
Yeah.
everything changes. So you start to find homes a little bit everywhere and you start to integrate that. And I think that's where both they are at and I'm at, where your people are at. That's
Mm.
where home is.
Yeah, it is true. I think that even for my parents, so I immigrated when I was very young with my parents, and they used to always call Yugoslavia, and now the part they're from is Serbia, right by the Romanian border. They always called it like a casa, like at home. They have an apartment there. They love visiting, but it's not home because they've changed. And
Exactly.
the place has changed and the people change. And so it never is, the expression is you can never really go home. It never is the way your memory is of it. And your
Exactly.
memory is probably still also have gone through so many filters of what it is. But now you are in Croatia and you've built a new life there. So what have you experienced in terms of the life that you've built in Croatia? And how is it different than maybe the life you and your husband built in Sweden?
How is it different? So many levels. I don't even know where to begin. But I think lifestyle. We live in Istria, Croatia, and I think the reason why we moved, we really wanted the quality. I mean, we were happy in Sweden. That was not the reason we moved. We had this vision of the lifestyle we wanted to live. Being outdoors a lot. We're by the sea every day, almost every day. We are very active people. We love to be in nature. I think that's one major difference that in Sweden, the climate doesn't always allow you. The
Mhm.
weather is all year round. You spend a lot of time indoors, and here we're outdoors a lot. There's so many aspects. I don't know how to sum it up. Yeah, it's more relaxed here. It's way more relaxed being here because Istria is, I mean, the people here, the culture is different. People are very laid back in it. Yeah, everything is okay. Take it easy. Take your time. I very rarely see people being stressed. They are, obviously.
Mhm.
There's stress here as well. I think they approach life differently. They don't go by the rules and structure. Everything has to be perfect. It's more going with the flow, feeling your way through. You do what you feel. And for us, we are quite structured people. Both of us, we run our own businesses. We're self-employed. And so that works perfectly. I think that combination.
I love that. And speaking of Istria, you have been doing retreats there with your clients for how many years now have you been doing your retreats?
We moved here 3.5 years ago. So I've been doing it for 3 years now. I think it took me 2 months to create the first one. After being here for 2 months, I just said to my husband, I have to get my clients to come here. This is amazing. Like this place, I just want people to experience it. I want them to experience what I experience here, what I live, and I want them to see it, to feel it. And so, yeah, 3 years.
Oh, wow. And you asked me this year if I would be
Mhm.
interested
Yeah.
in partnering with you and doing one of the retreats next May in 2026 together. And I think we're actually have two sets of dates now. Let's talk a little bit. And of course, I didn't even have to think about it. I said, absolutely. I just think that you and I know work so well together. We both want similar things for our clients. So this retreat's going to be a little bit different because we get to both facilitate, we get to work on this. So let's talk a little bit about the retreats when they're available, because
Mhm.
I know that the listeners, they would want a reason to come to Croatia, right? In May.
Yes. What would be your reason? If you ask me, like to anyone listening, what would be the reason? I would say the reason would be the same one as for me. Return to yourself. And that's
Yeah.
literally the name of the program, like return to yourself. So when I came here, I felt like I had returned. My
Mm,
life was coming full circle. All this moving around, traveling, and finally I was making it home, but also not just home to my roots, but also really to my authentic self. So I think anyone's reason would be just to connect on a deeper level with themselves and to feel what authenticity feels like.
yeah. As we've been building the agenda, the itinerary for every day, I love that we are incorporating the location. So, of course,
Mhm.
taking advantage of the water, of the beautiful hillside, of the history of Istria. So, there's magic in just the location. But there's also just this beautiful pace of
Mhm.
regulating the nervous system, of breathing deeply, of doing the deep inner child work that you do, and also
Mhm.
just allowing people to leave with a really strong vision of what's next. So the arc that
Mhm.
we've built, I think, really is for everybody. I think every
Mhm.
single one of us wants to
Yes.
return back to ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. I can hear that. I can feel that with my clients. I can feel that with people, anyone I talk to, really. When you listen to people, whoever you might be talking to, there's a yearning to be ourselves, to connect with ourselves, but also to connect with one another. I think in general, there's a distance in today's world. We're very busy. We're often disconnected on our phones. And so we don't make as much time to really connect and for that community that we so need as human beings. And one thing that I have noticed in my retreats is that they love the group, they love the connection they form, and often they continue having these connections even after the retreat. So I think it's also a return to yourself, a connection with yourself, but it's also a mirroring in one another and connecting with one another.
I agree with you. There is such a need for connection right now. There's such a need for community, for being able to feel safe, to
Mm.
share
Mm.
vulnerably, to learn from one another. And it's always amazing to me to see when people come together on the first day, especially if none of them have met before, and then to see those relationships 5 days, 6 days later, however long the retreat is. It is incredible
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they're there, they're going through the same thing, they're sharing, they're built this trust, and there's a sense of safety in the container. And you're right, people hold on to those relationships. I just did my retreat in Morocco. The WhatsApp group is still communicating. People are celebrating successes, celebrating each other's birthdays and what's happened, because you can't just go back and pretend like you didn't have this shared experience together.
Yeah, that's it. I actually had a participant write in my evaluation form after the retreat. He said something along the lines, I'm just blown away by how fast we could create such a profound connection with one another. And I think it was just a realization of kind of like, first of all, why don't we do this in everyday life? What is stopping us? And then, wow, I didn't even know it was possible to get
Mhm.
so close to someone in such a short period of time.
Absolutely. And you and I are going to grow even deeper connected too. It's what happens. And I'm so grateful. And as of now, we have two sets of dates. So if someone's listening, I want for people to know what's available. Do we have those finalized, Adita? We feel pretty good
Yes,
about it.
we do. Would you like me to say them?
I would love it.
We have one shorter one of 5 days, and we have a bit longer one of 6 days. So we have 13th until 17th of May, 2026. And the next one, the one after that, is 24th until 29th of May.
Yeah. I'm so excited. And they are both in the same location.
They're in Fazana, Istria, and that's also where I live. We're going to visit Istria. We're not just going to stay in Fazana. It's also important. So whoever
Yeah.
comes, they get to see more of Istria, both the seaside, coastline, but also the countryside. I mean, Istria is just magical. It's called Terra Magica. Really a magical place.
And for those that maybe haven't visited before, it's close to Slovenia to the north.
Yes,
It's close, of course, across the Adriatic. You can go to Italy if you'd like. Venice, it's not too far away. And I love that, of course, in Croatia, you could take a boat and just go to the different locations, different islands. So there's plenty to do for those that are curious about maybe staying before or after the retreat as well.
yes. We have it in one of the programs. We're going to do island hopping. We're going to go on both excursions. I mean, you cannot come here and not do that. So
Yeah. I'm so excited. It's going to be amazing. And I love being able to just be there for a bit and go visit family as well. But I think if anyone is curious and they want to do deeper work, I think that this has everything. It has the retreat elements and doing some deeper content, deeper work, as well
yes.
as then allowing for more joy, for more play, for a little bit more regulation as well. So it's going to be pretty exciting. And I think we have capacity for about 10 people in each retreat. Is that correct?
I would say maximum 12 people,
Yeah.
just to give another two spots. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if the need is there, we might open up for a third round. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
If,
I will
yeah,
include links to join the wait list because I have no doubt that between my clients here in the States and yours as well in Europe, that these spots are going to fill up fairly quickly. That's why we want to start talking about it now and make sure that
yes.
we secure the spots.
Exactly. And for anyone listening, if you have any more questions about why is this program special and what is the combination of themes and Aneta, we can both share that information because I get this question a lot, like what is different from regular psychotherapy? Why come to a 5 day program or 6 day program? Because we're really working holistically. We're working with you as a whole and with the breath, with the movement, with the playfulness, the inner child. So kind of the journey that I just described that I went through and that I'm working with my clients on returning to your authentic self, we need that holistic approach to really get there.
Absolutely. Do you mind sharing anonymously, of course, but some of the breakthroughs that you've seen with clients and some of your past retreats?
Oh, yes, breakthroughs. There's been so many. I'm trying to just bring back some comments and some memories. When we do the breath work, especially combined with emotional processing, a lot of emotions come up, unconscious stuff that the clients were not able to retrieve through regular psychotherapy. And
Mhm.
so I've had a lot of participants say, like, wow, where did that come from? Where
Yeah.
did that come from in me? I didn't even know I had that anger. Or
Mhm.
I didn't even know I could play like this. I didn't even know that I had all of this playfulness in me. I just thought I was suppressed. And
Yeah.
so a lot of this kind of suppressed emotions come to surface. Also, this feeling of belonging. I thought I was alone. I get this one a lot. Like, I thought I was the only one. I feel less alone now. It's just a combination of things. But my highlight was this was the best week of my.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
powerful. It is
yeah.
so powerful. And I think that when people have these experiences, what I always remember is they're going home typically, and that ripple effect
Mhm.
back in the world, in their home, with their families, with their friends, with their work, their community. I mean, that literally is how we start to change the world, is just by doing the work ourselves, focusing in on taking care of our own, and then coming back and choosing to be a light in this world.
Exactly that. And we're actually providing a space for healing. Because you think about it in the everyday, we don't make enough time and room for that. So I really feel like these 5 or 6 days are sacred because we make the time, we make the space to really see you, to hear you, and to take you wherever you need to go. Because I get this question a lot, like, what do you think I need, Edita? No, I think you know what you need. I will guide
Right.
you. I will guide you through towards that. And so all you need to do is show up.
It's so true. And we in coaching, we believe the same thing. The answers are within. Let's just create the space for those to emerge. And you're right, when you combine breath work with all these other practices too, it's incredible to see what can happen. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited that we finally get to meet in person. It's
I
so interesting.
know.
You talk to so much, and especially overseas, and then you finally meet and you're like, wait, we've never done this before.
Oh, no. I know. I'll probably be pinching you in the beginning. Are you real? Are you for real?
For sure. No, I think it's exciting. And I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity to do this together. So we'll include all the links, and I know we'll have a brochure that people can see as well. And as soon as possible, yeah, we'll start opening up the spaces for our guests and pick the one that resonates more, either the shorter one or the longer one. That's going to be here before we know it.
Yay. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Adita, I ask all my guests a final question, which is tied to the title of the podcast. What does it mean to you to live the width and not just the length of your life?
Hmm. What does it mean to me to live the right way? I think it's just really, really resonating with me, everything we just talked about today. I think that
Yeah. Mm.
living my truth, it means to tune into what I need for myself, to what I need rather than what I should be doing. So before we moved to Istria, I heard a lot of shoulds. It's such a safe country. Are you sure? Are you sure you're doing? You should be staying for the kids. There's a lot of shoulds going around, norms. And I think for me, it's really about tuning into your own truth. What do you need? What do you yearn for? And going for that. Obviously, making time and space and being realistic. Yeah,
Oh, I love that. So true. And it always comes back to just that authentic version of ourselves. Adita, thank you for being such a bright light in this world, for the amazing work that you do. With so many lives have been changed because of you. And I cannot wait for us to be able to do this together.
I feel the same, Aneta. Thank you for taking the time
Of
to talk
course.
today.
All right. Talk soon.